Okay, now we learn how to compare things in the strings, and actually we learned how to compare numbers in previously, right? So then after learning how to compare it, we have to be able to kind of control our program executions. Actually, we can use that purpose. And for that purpose, what people use is if statement. Here, if, else, and AND. For instance, in Matlab, you can type in like this, num score 95. And num score, if 90 is greater than display A. So A is displayed, right? Isn't it great? So then num score is changed to the 75. And if num score is bigger than 90, display A, but it's not going to happen, else display lower grade. So lower grade is printed out here. And then this is simple if, else, and. If you recall CS 101, this wouldn't be so difficult, right? And then if, else if, else, and. So else if is used when you want to make a series if statement with a single variable. Then num score is if it's bigger than 90, display A, and once it's displayed, go to the end. If not, else if. If not, else if. If not, else, and do the thing and write here. Currently, num score is 75, means that we have to go to the else if. And then num score bigger than 80, of course not, then we have to go to the else if here. And then num score greater than 70, actually yes it is, and display C here, write this. And then what happens is that after the execution of this display C, then it goes to the end, right? If it was 65 or 55, then display D or F would be executed, right? It's simple if statement. And for statement. For is a very frequently used loop statement, right? So it's another control of your program, and if you want to execute many times of a certain commands, then this has been used. And for the most common loop statement in programming languages, and I think that most of programming languages have for loop, right? So the how we specify for loop in Matlab looks like this: for and we have this thing, right? 1:10 means 1, 2, 3, 10. What if this one? Oh, sorry. What if this one? This one is 1, 11, right? Comma, 21, 31, and 91. 101 is beyond 100, bigger than 100, so this is not going to be included here. And this result is coming here, right? Once if statement for loop is specified here, this ITR, variable ITR holds these values, these sequence values, one by one each. And 1 is printed out like this, 2 is printed out like this, because ITR was changed from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Until the end statement is met, this ITR value doesn't change. Once end state is met, goes back to the for loop, and it increases ITR by the step function, by the step value, and it checks the 2 value. If it's greater than 2 value, then it goes to the outer statements of the for loop. If not, the ITR value is changed and continue the loop. That's the basic idea. So here 10 and display done is printed out here, right? And this here 1, 2, 3, 4, 11. So sum is a sum from 1 to 11, means that 55 plus 11 means 66. So 66 is printed out like this, alright? And then here the iteration 1, 11, 21, 31, 41. Here, interestingly, we don't have 51. What happened in the 51 phase? If ITR 51 is same, then it says continue. If inside the for loop, if continue is met, then what it does is just go to the end, right? It doesn't go elsewhere. So and then again for loop is continuous. So that's why it didn't have chance to print out 51, right? What happens here? 1 to 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2 is printed out, alright. 3, once ITR becomes 3, 3 equals 3, so break happens. Break doesn't make program to execute end. It's not. It just continue to the outside of the for loop, right? Continue was inside of for loop. Break is outside of for loop, and then it just displays done and done, right? Like this. So for loop, I believe that if you took DCS 101, for loop would be familiar for you, but I think that I already covered kind of simple mechanisms of how for loop work, okay? Very similar while, right? It's the second for loop. Actually, whatever thing that you can do with for loop, you can do with while loop, but it's kind of for loop is more like a simplified version of that. While loop, the loop continues until this Boolean statement becomes false, right? Means that it's really while something is true, execute this thing. While something equals true, then execute the block. That's the main scheme, alright? So here we are summing from 1 to 10, right? We are summing, this is a sum from 1, 2, 3, 4 to 10. So sum is 55 right here, okay? But things here is that, okay, ITR 10, so it's supposed to, because since ITR is increased by 1, it's supposed to be 1, 2, 3 to 9. However, because it hit ITR 5 in the middle, right here, 5, and then it hits break. When it hits break, what happens? Break means they're going outside of the loop, right? Outside of loop here. So it will just show the sum of 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, which means 10. So that's, we have 10 here, okay? Very similar idea, just a different scheme, okay?